Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Azab Sphere channel, dear viewers and followers. Following our previous video about artificial intelligence's impact on the upstream oil sector, our analysis confirmed that reservoir engineering is the most significantly affected area. Therefore, we're continuing this series with a new episode focused on reservoir simulation. This presentation will follow our successful format from the previous video, which received positive feedback from many viewers. The content will include a comprehensive overview, mind-mapping infographics, a concluding podcast video. For newcomers to AI, we recommend watching our introductory video on generative AI before diving into the main topic of reservoir simulation. You'll find the link on this page to help you understand the fundamental concepts we'll be discussing. We hope you'll enjoy this presentation and consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this.
Hey there, energy enthusiasts. Ever wondered how artificial intelligence is transforming the oil and gas industry? Let's dive into the world of AI-powered reservoir modeling, an exciting new era in energy exploration. Traditionally, reservoir modeling has been a beast, complex, time-consuming and costly. The curse of dimensionality means that as more variables are added, the complexity skyrockets. But AI is changing the game, offering solutions that are faster, smarter and more efficient. First up, let's talk about accelerating simulations. AI-driven surrogate reservoir models, or SRMs, use techniques like fuzzy logic and neural networks to provide rapid, approximate solutions. Imagine this: a complex Middle Eastern oil field with numerous horizontal wells was modeled using fuzzy pattern recognition, slashing computation time dramatically. Incredible, right? Next, enhancing data analysis. Reservoir modeling relies on vast data sets. Think well logs, seismic surveys, core samples, and production history. AI algorithms excel at identifying patterns and relationships in this data, uncovering insights that traditional methods might miss. Plus, AI can fill in the gaps where data is missing or incomplete, creating a more comprehensive understanding of the reservoir. Now let's move on to automating model development. Large language models, or LLMs, trained on heaps of code and technical literature, can automate the generation of complex reservoir simulations. Engineers can simply describe their requirements in natural language, and the LLM generates the corresponding code. Talk about a time saver. Improving history matching is another big win for AI. This process, crucial for accurate predictions, can be tedious and slow, but machine learning algorithms optimize model parameters, achieving a better match faster than manual methods. Deep learning techniques take it a step further, building sophisticated models that capture complex reservoir relationships. Lastly, AI helps quantify uncertainty, an inherent challenge in reservoir modeling. By identifying the most influential parameters and developing probabilistic models, AI provides a nuanced understanding of potential outcomes and risks. So there you have it. AI is revolutionizing reservoir modeling, making it faster, more accurate and more efficient. As AI technology continues to advance, its role in optimizing hydrocarbon recovery and ensuring a sustainable future for the energy sector will only grow. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more insights into the future of energy.
In this modern era, we're witnessing a significant shift in the way we approach reservoirs. Simulation and model artificial intelligence enable engineers to leverage advanced algorithms and machine learning techniques to optimize reservoir performance. This new approach has the potential to transform the industry, allowing for faster and more accurate predictions of reservoir behavior. Exploring the evolution of simulation techniques reveals how AI is revolutionizing traditional practices and what practical applications are emerging. In the early days of reservoir simulation, engineers relied heavily on manual calculations and basic fluid dynamics principles. They used empirical formulas and simplified models to estimate reservoir behavior, often relying on trial and error to refine their prediction. This approach was limited in its ability to accurately capture the complexities of real-world reservoirs. As computers became available in the 1960s seconds, engineers were able to develop numerical simulation techniques that incorporated more complex physics. These models allowed for better prediction of reservoir performance, but they still had limitations today. Artificial intelligence has transformed the field of reservoir simulation, machine learning, and neural networks and can create highly accurate and detailed models that can simulate complex reservoir systems with unprecedented speed and precision. These advances have opened up new possibilities for optimizing reservoir management and improving overall performance. As we progress through time, new technologies emerge, enabling us to comprehend better and forecast our reservoir's behavior. Initially, engineers relied heavily on manual calculations and fundamental fluid dynamics principles to estimate reservoir performance. However, with the advent of computers, numerical simulation techniques became feasible, permitting the incorporation of more intricate physics into our models. The diagram represents a company's organizational structure divided into distinct departments responsible for specific tasks. Similarly, our team in petroleum engineering collaborates to achieve our objectives by utilizing AI to integrate data from diverse sources, optimizing our workflow, and enhancing decision-making by visualizing the company structure. We can better comprehend how I can refine our processes, resulting in improved productivity and accuracy.
Technological traditional approach. It relies mainly on conventional software tools and visualization methods. Uses basic computational methods for simulation. Limited integration of different data sources.
Technological modern approach. Incorporates AI and machine learning technologies. Employs advanced predictive modeling capabilities. Features real-time monitoring and automated workflows. Data processing.
Data processing. Traditional approach. Manual data collection and processing. Focuses on basic data sources, geological, core samples, seismic. Limited computational capacity for handling large datasets.
Data processing modern approach. Advanced data analytics capabilities. Automated data processing. Better integration of multiple data sources. Real-time data monitoring and analysis.
Modeling approach. Traditional. Separate static and dynamic modeling. Basic history matching processes. Standard forecasting methods.
Modern. Integrated static and dynamic modeling. Advanced optimization techniques. AI-driven predictive modeling. Real-time model calibration. Environmental considerations.
Environmental considerations. Traditional. Primary focus on production optimization. Limited emphasis on environmental impact. Basic CO2 injection studies.
Modern. Strong focus on sustainability technologies. Advanced carbon capture initiatives. Integration of environmental considerations into modeling.
Industry collaboration. Traditional. Limited industry partnerships. Individual company-focused approaches.
Modern. Emphasis on industry partnerships. Collaborative technological advancement. Shared sustainability efforts.
Adaptability. Traditional. Fixed modeling parameters. Limited ability to adapt to changing conditions.
Modern. Real-time monitoring and adaptation. Dynamic model adjustment. Continuous optimization.
The field of reservoir engineering has undergone a significant transformation with the advent of artificial intelligence-based simulations. This shift is driven by the need to efficiently and effectively handle large-scale complex reservoir models. Traditional simulation methods rely heavily on time-consuming processing, requiring substantial computational resources and infrastructure. Moreover, they struggle to scale when dealing with massive datasets, often resulting in accurate predictions. In contrast, AI-based simulation, both rapid processing capabilities, enhanced computational efficiency, and improved accuracy in prediction. These scalable solutions enable the efficient handling of big data, making them a game changer in reservoir engineering. By leveraging AI capabilities, engineers can now tackle complex problems with unprecedented speed and precision. Machine learning plays a crucial role in this framework by identifying patterns within vast reservoir datasets. Algorithms are used to make predictions, enabling engineers to better understand the complex relationships between variables. This integration enables the development of more accurate and reliable models capable of simulating the intricate dynamics of reservoir systems. The encoder neural network processes and compresses input data into a format suitable for AI analysis, enabling efficient handling of large amounts of information and accurate capture of real-world reservoir system complexities. By integrating machine learning algorithms with physics-based models through training process integration, we achieve optimal performance in our simulations, resulting in highly accurate and reliable models that inform decision-making in the energy set. The three-tier approach to AI-based reservoir modeling provides flexibility by allowing engineers to apply AI techniques based on available data and desired outcomes. Each model type has its own strengths, ranging from data-intensive black box models to purely physics-based transparent box models. Engineers can choose the most appropriate approach for their specific reservoir simulation. The black dog models require abundant data to function effectively, whereas gray box models use a hybrid approach combining data and physical laws. Transparent box models, on the other hand, rely solely on physical laws and equations, eliminating the need for data. By understanding these different approaches, engineers can select the most suitable method for their project, ensuring accurate and efficient reservoir modeling. The simulations have become a vital tool in the energy sector, enabling engineers to tackle complex reservoir models with unprecedented precision and speed in reservoir exploration and production. AI models optimize drilling locations, predict production rates, and enhance recovery strategies, allowing operators to make informed decisions about where to drill, how much to produce, and when to shut in wells, ultimately leading to increased profitability and reduced environmental. Similarly, in petroleum pipeline management, real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance improve pipeline efficiency and safety, detecting potential issues before they become major problems and reducing downtime. Additionally, AI-driven simulation supports the development of geothermal and other alternative energy sources, heading your way for a cleaner, more sustainable energy mix. Moreover, in carbon capture and storage, advanced modeling techniques enhance the planning and execution of CO2 projects, helping reduce greenhouse gas emissions by capturing CO2 from industrial sources and storing it underground. With AI-based simulations, the energy sector is poised to achieve greater efficiency, accuracy, and sustainability. AI-based simulations have revolutionized the field of reservoir engineering. Reservoir simulation is a crucial aspect of the oil and gas industry, allowing us to understand the behavior of underground reservoirs and optimize their extraction. We combine this traditional approach with the latest advancements in artificial intelligence. The result is a powerful tool that unlocks new possibilities for data analysis, real-time optimization, and decision-making. Reservoir simulation is a process that aims to replicate the complex behavior of oil, gas, and water interacting with surrounding rock formations. This allows engineers to predict future performance and optimize production strategies. There are two main types of models used in reservoir simulation: static and dynamic models. Of static models provided a snapshot of the reservoir's geology at a particular moment in time, capturing its structural framework, rock properties, and fluid distribution. Dynamic models, on the other hand, simulate the flow of fluids over time, taking into account factors like pressure, temperature, and fluid properties. By combining these two types of models, we can gain a deeper understanding of the reservoir behavior and make more accurate predictions about its performance. Reservoir modeling encounters various difficulties. High dimensionality is one of them, resulting from numerous geological parameters that must be taken into account. This intricacy stems from the interaction between multiple variables. Data complexity is another obstacle caused by diverse data types and sources, making it challenging to integrate and analyze the data. Additionally, moreover, uncertainty arises due to incomplete subsurface information, which limits our capacity to accurately model the reservoir. Lastly, computational intensity poses a challenge as large-scale simulations necessitate substantial computational resources. The accuracy of reservoir simulation models relies heavily on several key parameters, including mid-depth, thickness, porosity, permeability, and saturation. Mid-depth thickness refers to the average thickness of a rock layer at a specific depth, affecting the amount of fluid that can flow through the raw porosity measures. The percentage of void space within a rock determining how much fluid can be stored and how easily it can flow through it. Permeability describes the ability of a rock to transmit fluids, with higher values indicating easier fluid flow and lower values indicating harder fluid move. Right. Saturation represents the proportion of a rock's pore volume occupied by a particular fluid, crucial for predicting fluid behavior within the rock. Incorporating these parameters into simulations enables more accurate modeling of the subsurface environment and more informed decisions about resource extraction. The black oil model results show that several key parameters significantly impact the recovery factor of oil and gas. These parameters include viscosity, porosity, pressure, and recovery factor itself. Viscosity affects the flow rate of fluid within the reservoir, with higher viscosities resulting in slower flow rates and lower viscosities in faster flow rates. Porosity measures the amount of void space within the rock, allowing fluids to flow through it, and its range of 0.18 to 0.42 indicates varying levels of permeability. Pressure influences the behavior of fluids within the reservoir, with pressures ranging from 3,000 to 3,500 C, affecting flow rates and recovery. Because the recovery factor itself represents the percentage of original oil in place that can be extracted during the life of the reservoir, providing valuable insights into the potential productivity of the reservoir. In this chapter, we will introduce the fundamental concepts of cluster analysis. A cluster is a group of objects that share common characteristics. We can think of it like categorizing similar items together. For example, if we have a set of images, we might group them based on their colors, shapes, or textures. The key idea here is that these objects within a cluster exhibit similarities that distinguish them from other groups. We will also explore ways to identify and represent these clusters. This involves using various methods such as proximity measures and algorithms. These tools help us visualize the relationships between our data points and uncover patterns that might not be immediately apparent. By examining proximity matrices and dendrograms, we can gain valuable insights into the structure of our data. Data mining plays a vital role in reservoir simulation. It begins with data preparation, where we cleanse and pre-process the data to eliminate inconsistencies and errors, ensuring reliability and accuracy. Exploratory analysis follows, during which we investigate patterns, identify anomalies, and test hypotheses, much like examining data under a magnifying glass to grasp its underlying structure and relationships. Building models is the next stage, where we develop predictive or descriptive models based on the data, aiming to create an accurate representation of the reservoir behavior. Finally, we evaluate and deploy our models, assessing their performance and implementing them in real-world scenarios to inform our decisions about the reservoir of management. Hierarchical clustering methods enable us to group similar objects based on their similarities. We can merge these groups in various ways, and three common techniques include single link, complete link, and Ward's method. Single link clustering merges clusters based on the minimum distance between any 2 points, whereas complete link clustering merges them based on the maximum distance between any 2 points. Word method, on the other hand, minimizes the increase in within-cluster variance when merging clusters. This technique is particularly useful when dealing with data sets containing outliers or noisy data. Understanding these different merging strategies enables us to better visualize and interpret our higher archival clustering result. In this step, we assign each data point to the nearest cluster center, which is known as assignment or classification. We then update the data points based on their assigned cluster centers. The cluster centers themselves are recalculated based on the new assignments. This is an iterative process repeated until a stopping criterion is met, such as when no more changes occur between iterations or when a maximum number of iterations has been reached. This process is essential in defining and interpreting our clusters meaningfully. Fuzzy clustering is a method that allows data points to belong to multiple clusters with varying degrees of membership. Membership functions define the degree to which a data point belongs to a particular cluster. Strategies for initial configuration and cluster merging are also discussed, as well as the fundamentals of fuzzy C-means clustering. Model-based clustering, by contrast, uses statistical models to describe the data and identify clusters. This approach combines statistical techniques with artificial intelligence to provide a more comprehensive understanding of the data. PubWeb, a combined statistical and artificial intelligence approach, is explored along with mixture models and the Farley and Lafferty Gaussian mixture model. Artificial intelligence in reservoir simulation has achieved remarkable accuracy, reaching 99.9%, because AI algorithms can analyze large data sets, identifying complex relationships and patterns that may not be apparent to human engineers. These algorithms can process vast amounts of data quickly and accurately, recognizing connections between different variables that might otherwise go unnoticed. This level of precision is crucial in the field of reservoir simulation, where even small inaccuracies can have significant consequences. In the future of reservoir management, seamless integration of diverse data sources enables the collection of vast amounts of information, which can then be analyzed in real time. Continuous analysis and optimization allow engineers to quickly identify issues and adjust parameters to maximize efficiency. Predictive maintenance becomes crucial as AI-driven equipment monitoring detects potential problems early, enabling proactive measures to reduce downtime and increase productivity.
Now, dear followers, we've reached the final segment of today's episode, our podcast discussion. Joining us today are our esteemed guests, Dr. Adele on the right and Dr. Andrew on the left. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished guests. I'll now hand over the microphone to them to begin their insightful discussion. I hope you enjoy this conversation, which will summarize and synthesize the key points from the videos and presentations you've seen.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going deep underground into the world of reservoir simulation. We've got academic papers, industry presentations, even some historical context to sift through. You shared that you're especially interested in real-time data and its applications, so we'll definitely make sure to touch on that. Get ready for dendrograms, algorithms, and maybe even some virtual oil wells along the way.
It's a fascinating field, especially now with the rise of AI and machine learning. Things are changing rapidly.
Right, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is reservoir simulation, and why should we care?
Think of a reservoir as a giant sponge, filled with oil, gas, and water. We can't just see what's going on down there, so we need a way to understand how those fluids move and interact with the rock formations. That's where reservoir simulation comes in. It allows us to create a virtual model of the reservoir and test different production strategies to optimize oil and gas extraction.
From what I'm seeing in these sources, there are different types of reservoir models. Can you unpack that for us?
Absolutely. We have static models, which are like a snapshot of the reservoir at a specific point in time, capturing its geological structure and initial fluid properties. Then there are dynamic models, which simulate the flow of fluids over time, considering factors like pressure, temperature, and the properties of those fluids.
This mohahed.pdf paper actually highlights just how sensitive these simulations can be to seemingly small variations. For instance, it mentions average capillary pressure, which I understand relates to the forces holding fluids in the rock pores. They found that even a difference of just 40 psi can lead to significantly different simulation outcomes. That's wild.
It is. It emphasizes the importance of accurate data and careful calibration of those models. We need to get it right. Otherwise, our predictions about how the reservoir will behave could be way off.
So how do we build these models? What data do we feed into them?
Let's start with static models. Building one is like piecing together a giant 3D jigsaw puzzle. We use geological maps to understand the reservoir's structural framework, seismic surveys to get a picture of the subsurface, and logs, which give us detailed information from the actual drilling process. It's all about combining those pieces to create a comprehensive model of the reservoir's geology.
I see. So we're essentially building a digital twin of what's happening underground. Then we layer in the dynamic modeling, which is where things get really interesting.
Right. Building a dynamic model is a multi-step process. First, we need to establish a sound static model as our foundation. Then we incorporate historical production data from the field, things like production rates, pressures, and fluid compositions. This is where a technique called history matching comes into play.
So history matching is how we make sure our dynamic model reflects reality.
Precisely. We essentially run the simulation and compare its output to the actual historical data if they don't match up. We tweak various parameters in the model, permeability, porosity, fluid properties, until we get a good fit. This iterative process can be quite complex. It requires a deep understanding of reservoir behavior.
It sounds like there's a lot of art as well as science involved. Speaking of understanding behavior, one term you highlighted as important for you to understand better was lift curves. How do they fit into dynamic modeling?
Lift curves are visual tools that help us understand the relationship between production rate and the driving force in the reservoir, such as pressure drawdown or bass injection. They give us insight into how efficiently we are extracting hydrocarbons, which in turn can guide decisions about production optimization.
So by analyzing lift curves, we can essentially fine-tune our production strategies to get the most out of the reservoir.
Yes, and this is where the power of real-time data comes in. If we can feed live data from the field directly into our models and analyze it using techniques like lift curve analysis, we can make adjustments on the fly and optimize production in a much more dynamic way.
Okay, so now we're starting to see the exciting possibilities of combining real-time data with reservoir simulation.
Exactly. Real-time data allows us to move beyond static snapshots and create a living, breathing model of the reservoir that evolves as conditions change.
I'm starting to feel like we're on the verge of something big here. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's dive into another key piece of this puzzle. Data mining. How does it help us make sense of all the information we have about these reservoirs?
Data mining is like being a detective for reservoirs. We sift through vast amounts of data, logs, production records, seismic data, to uncover hidden patterns and valuable insights that might not be immediately apparent. Think of it as finding those golden nuggets of knowledge within a mountain of information.
Okay, sign me up for that treasure hunt. But how do we actually do it? This cluster analysis and data mining.pdf paper mentions something called similarity and distance measures. What are those all about?
Imagine you have data on a bunch of different wells in a field, each with its own unique set of characteristics like permeability and porosity. Similarity measures tell us how alike those wells are, while distance measures tell us how different they are. We can then use this information to group wells together based on their similarities, which can be very helpful for understanding the reservoir's overall behavior.
So it's like sorting all those wells into different categories based on their shared traits. The paper actually shows this visually with a complete link clustering process, like drawing circles around groups of similar wells on a map, helping us visualize the different regions within the reservoir.
Exactly, and that visualization can be incredibly powerful for guiding decisions about well placement, production strategies, and even things like enhanced oil recovery techniques. But before we get into the specifics of those techniques, there's one more foundational concept I want to touch on.
Okay, lay it on me.
Machine learning. It's a game changer for reservoir simulation. Instead of manually analyzing all this data and trying to identify patterns ourselves, we can now leverage algorithms that can learn from the data and make predictions about reservoir behavior.
So it's like having a superpowered data analyst working for us 24/7, constantly crunching numbers and looking for insights.
That's a great way to put it. These algorithms can analyze data from multiple sources, logs, production history, seismic surveys, and identify complex relationships that we might not even be able to see ourselves. So
That's what I call a smart assistant. But what about the even smarter assistant? The one that's been making headlines everywhere. LLMs. I'm dying to know how those fit into all of this.
LLMs, or large language models, are indeed an exciting new development in AI. Their ability to understand and generate human language is opening up a whole new world of possibilities for how we interact with reservoir data and simulation models.
Okay, before we get too deep into LLMs, I want to make sure I understand the basics. What exactly are they, and what makes them so special?
Imagine an AI system that has read every textbook, research paper, and industry report related to reservoir engineering. That's essentially what an LLM is. It's been trained on massive data sets of text and code, allowing it to grasp the nuances of language, context, and even reasoning within this domain.
Wow, so it's like having access to the collective knowledge of countless experts, all condensed into one powerful AI system. But how do we actually use this knowledge in the context of reservoir simulation?
That's where things get really fascinating, and that's exactly what we're going to explore after a quick break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Before the break, we were just starting to talk about LLMs, large language models.
Yes, they're clearly a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, myself included, are still trying to wrap their heads around how this language-focused AI can be practically applied to something as complex as reservoir simulation.
It's about changing the way we interact with reservoir data and models. Traditionally, it's been a very numbers-heavy process, inputting data, running simulations, and trying to decipher often dense outputs.
Right. Spreadsheets, graphs, technical reports. It can be a lot to digest, even for someone with a technical background.
Now imagine being able to simply ask an LLM a question about your reservoir, just like you'd ask a human expert. Something like, what's the optimal injection rate for this well? Or, what are the key geological factors impacting production in this zone? The LLM would understand your question, access the necessary data, process it through the simulation model, and then provide you with an answer in plain English.
That would be incredible. It would democratize access to this complex knowledge and empower so many more people to make informed decisions. It's like having a reservoir engineering genius on call 24/7.
It's all about breaking down those barriers between human language and the complex mathematical world of reservoir simulation. LLMs can translate our questions into a format the simulation software understands, and then translate the results back into something we can easily grasp.
Okay, I'm starting to get the bigger picture here, but what's happening behind the scenes? How does this integration actually work?
It's a combination of some pretty amazing technologies. First, we have to train the LLM on a massive amount of reservoir engineering information. Think textbooks, research papers, industry reports, and even code from the simulation software itself. This allows it to build a deep understanding of the concepts, terminology, and relationships within the field.
So it's like giving the LLM a crash course in all things reservoir engineering.
Exactly. And this is where natural language processing comes into play. LLMs can actually analyze text and code, extracting meaning and relationships, just like a human expert would.
It sounds like we're teaching these LLMs to read the textbooks and write the code. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is. Then once the LLM has that foundation, it can be connected to the actual reservoir simulation software through APIs, application programming interfaces. These APIs act like a bridge, allowing the LLM to send instructions to the software, receive data back, and process that data to generate meaningful answers.
So it's a seamless conversation happening between the LLM and the simulation software behind the scenes.
You got it. And to make sure the LLM has the most up-to-date information, we can also connect it to real-time data sources, things like sensor readings from wells or live production data from the field.
This is getting seriously futuristic. Now the LLM has a live feed of what's happening in the reservoir, which means its analysis and recommendations can be incredibly precise and dynamic.
Exactly. This integration of LLM's reservoir simulation software and real-time data is a game changer for the oil and gas industry.
Okay, let's talk about some of those game-changing benefits. How can this technology impact the people actually working in the field?
For starters, it significantly improves decision-making. By providing quick and easy access to complex data and analysis, LLMs can empower reservoir engineers, geologists, even field technicians to make faster and more informed decisions.
So instead of relying on a small team of experts to interpret simulation results, now everyone has the information they need right at their fingertips.
Right. This leads to faster response times, more efficient production, and reduced risk. It's a huge win for the industry where time really is money.
I'm also thinking about the challenge of knowledge transfer in this industry, especially with so many experienced professionals nearing retirement. Could LLMs play a role there?
Absolutely. We can train LLMs on the knowledge and experience of those senior engineers, essentially capturing their expertise and making it available to everyone.
So it's like creating a digital mentor for each new generation of engineers. That's a powerful legacy to leave behind.
And perhaps the most exciting aspect of all this is the potential for LLMs to drive innovation. By analyzing data from various sources and making connections we might not see ourselves, they could help us identify new opportunities and develop novel solutions to complex problems.
So it's not just about doing things better, it's about doing things differently. LLMs could lead to entirely new ways of thinking about reservoir management. I'm sensing a theme here. It seems like LLMs are not just a tool, but a partner in discovery.
I think that's a great way to put it. And this is just the beginning. The field is evolving rapidly, and we're only starting to scratch the surface of what LLMs can do.
All right, we're back and ready to explore how LLMs can be integrated with those different types of reservoir models we talked about earlier, static and dynamic. Where do we even begin?
Let's start with static models. Remember, these are like snapshots of the reservoir's geology at a particular moment in time. Integrating LLMs here is all about enhancing our ability to analyze and interpret that geological information.
Okay, so instead of just looking at maps and cross-sections, we can now ask the LLM questions about those geological features.
Exactly. We can ask things like, what are the major fault lines in this area? Or, where are the zones with the highest porosity and permeability? The LLM can then process that geological data and provide us with answers in a clear and concise way.
That sounds incredibly useful, especially for geologists who are trying to get a comprehensive understanding of the reservoir structure.
It also has implications for well planning. Imagine being able to ask the LLM, what's the optimal location to drill a new well to target this specific reservoir layer? The LLM could analyze the geological data, consider factors like rock properties and potential risks, and then recommend the best drilling location.
So it's like having a super intelligent geological advisor right there in the planning room with you. What about dynamic models? How do LLMs fit into that more complex and ever-changing world?
This is where things get really exciting. Dynamic models simulate the flow of fluids over time, and real-time data plays a crucial role. By connecting LLMs to those real-time data streams, we can create a truly dynamic and responsive system.
You're talking about creating a reservoir model that's constantly being updated and refined.
Yeah,
Based on what's happening in the field at this very moment.
precisely. Imagine an LLM that's constantly monitoring sensor readings from the wells, analyzing production rates, and then making adjustments to the dynamic model in real time.
Hold on. So the model isn't just a simulation anymore. It's becoming a live, interactive representation of the reservoir.
Yeah, that's the power of integrating LLMs with real-time data. We can move beyond static predictions and create a model that's constantly evolving and adapting to changing conditions.
That opens up some incredible possibilities. We could potentially optimize production in ways we never thought possible.
Exactly. Think about an LLM that's analyzing the data and then suggesting adjustments to production parameters in real time. Things like tweaking injection rates, optimizing well placement, or even identifying potential problems before they occur.
It's like having an AI co-pilot for reservoir management, constantly looking ahead and helping us navigate any challenges that arise.
And beyond optimization, there's the potential for enhanced understanding. LLMs could help us uncover hidden relationships within the data, identifying patterns and trends that we might have otherwise missed.
So not only are we making better decisions, we're also gaining a deeper understanding of the reservoir itself. That's a powerful combination. I'm starting to see how LLMs are not just a tool for improving reservoir simulation. They're a catalyst for a whole new era of innovation in the oil and gas industry.
I think that's a fantastic way to summarize it. We've come a long way in our understanding of reservoirs, and AI, especially LLMs, is poised to take us even further.
This deep dive has been mind-blowing. We started by unpacking the fundamentals of reservoir simulation, explored the power of data mining, and ended up in a world of intelligent algorithms and language processing AI. It's amazing to see how all these pieces fit together to paint a clearer picture of what's happening beneath our feet.
And what's even more exciting is that this is just the beginning. The field is constantly evolving, and new breakthroughs are happening all the time.
So for our listener out there who's now buzzing with all this information, what's the one key takeaway you'd want them to walk away with today?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. The future of reservoir management is intelligent, dynamic, and data-driven. By embracing AI and continuing to push the boundaries of what's possible, we can unlock incredible potential and ensure a more sustainable and efficient energy future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of reservoir simulation and AI. We hope you found it as fascinating as we did. Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
As we wrap up this episode, I want to thank our incredible guests, Dr. Andrew and Dr. Adele, for sharing their insights and experiences today. Your contributions have truly enriched our discussion and provided invaluable perspectives. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in and being part of our community. We appreciate your support and engagement and can't wait to bring you more thought-provoking conversations in our next session. Until then, take care and keep exploring.
You need to watch this if you love cutting-edge technology. Welcome to the Azab Sphere podcast. Join our hosts, Alex and Zara, as they unravel the latest in tech trends, gadgets, and innovations. From AI breakthroughs to the coolest new apps, we're here to keep you ahead of the curve. Subscribe now and never miss an episode. See you in the Sphere.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching. After finishing watching this video, please don't forget to follow my LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook accounts. I will continue to update more content. See you in the next video.